Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, and welcome to This Week in Hearthstone, the 27th edition, our weekly news recap series where we take a look at all the events and news in the world in Hearthstone the past weekend. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on this week. We covered a ton of it already this week. The BlizzCon announcement, the new expansion, and some of the core set details, but I want to answer some of the most commonly asked questions I'm seeing in the comments regarding that. So basically, stay tuned to get the answer to a lot of questions that are really important going forward. Also want to cover a bunch of content creators on both YouTube and Twitch that recently got partnered in the Hearthstone world. Shout them out, and maybe you'll have some other creators to check out. We'll take out the meta update. You can stay on Wild, what are the top decks performing there these days, and of course the mailbag segment where I answer your questions. So let's get right into it. The top story, BlizzCon new expansion. In regards to this video, the core set and all the stuff going on with it. So we've seen like reworked dragons, and we've seen reworked shaman cards, and people are like, should I dust my old cards? Should I keep my classic packs? What's going on? What should I do? I'm going to try and answer as many of these questions that come to mind that I have answers for. And if you want to chime in the comments below, whether like I'm wrong or there's observations you have about what's going on, feel free to do that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff moving around on Twitter with devs and Q&As all over the place. It's hard to figure out what's everything going on, but let's get into it. So first, should I save my classic packs? Is there any point, like, if I open them later, will I get core set cards or whatever? No, just open your classic packs. You'll get your classic cards. You're gonna get the core set for free later on anyway, so there's really no point. You might as well open it up. There's no point in saving them like a lot of people did. Another commonly asked question is with what's gonna happen with Zephyrus. He pulls from like the classic and basic set when he goes to wild. That doesn't really exist anymore. Is he gonna pull from like classic mode or whatever? And from what I understand, Zephyrus will pull from the classic and basic, like what it used to be set, so like what you have now, and just whatever the updated cards of said cards are. So like Lightning Storm is being reworked now, right? It's not random, it's 3 damage. Zephyrus and Wild should pull the 3 damage one and no longer the 2 to 3 damage one that's going to be found in the classic mode. It should be like pulling from cards that all exist as they did basically as rotation occurred. So I think Zephyr should be relatively the same, just buffed a little bit in regards to some of these like cards like Power Crept. And I don't think they'll update them to be like, give you Assassinate on 4 if that's better than whatever the option is, because Assassinate's getting buffed, right? I highly doubt they're going to give a damn about Wild in that regard and update Zephyrus going forward. Another commonly asked question is, should I just disenchant all of my classic cards? Like, what's the point of holding them? And my answer to that is, it depends. You actually can, like, the classic cards won't really matter, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in this in the comments below, but as I understand, you're getting the core set for free. All the golden cards that you can get from that, by the way, are like linked to achievements or progression or leveling or whatever. But if you have all the classic cards and you're going to get them back for free, you might as well be able to disenchant them, unless there's a couple of things. If you want to play them in wild, you need to keep them, right? You disenchant the classic cards. Some aren't going to be offered for free in the core set, only a certain amount of them, so you won't, you'll want to save them for wild. Or let's say Deathwing is being replaced in the core set, right? The new Deathwing. If you want to play the old Deathwing, you won't be able to do that in wild unless you keep it. So basically, you can get rid of it if you don't care about wild, if you don't care about like saving it for duels, because there's a chance you'll be able to play it in duels, right? That has a rotating format. And about playing it, I believe, in classic as well, because a lot of the cards will be classic cards they could play in the classic mode. So, or whatever mode comes out in the future, potentially there might be card requirements for old cards. So basically it comes down to, if you only care about standard, it's probably safe to disenchant these cards. Otherwise, I would just hold off, and unless you really, really need that dust later on, I would just hold off on it. So be warned, if you do dust your classic cards that like you're not going to use for dust right now, that you might get screwed over later, but in terms of like core set and all that stuff, if you only care about standard, it should be relatively safe. Lastly, I was asked, is the mini set thing, is that going to happen every expansion? And yes, it's going to happen every expansion. Like when they announced the mini set, they said the plan going forward was every expansion will have a mini set. So basically prepare accordingly. And I don't know if it'll be priced the same as the last one, but I imagine it will. I imagine it'll be like purchasable all by gold or like $20. So be aware of that when you're like budgeting out your Hearthstone expenditures or your gold for like the next 4 months with the new expansion coming out, that you have that mini sit in the back of your mind, because you'll probably want to save some stuff for that since the value of it is so good. That covers a bunch of the questions. Again, if you guys have more, or you have observations, please share in the below. We're a community. We help each other out. And this is from what I've read, from what I've understood from other people. And if there's other questions about it, please feel free to ask. Maybe I'll be able to answer it. Somebody else in the comments will answer it, or maybe we'll cover it again next week or in another video. Next, I just wanted to highlight a bunch of new content creators that just hit milestones. And I always love to share the love, give some exposure, if I give any, I don't know, out to these people. So on Twitch, Bear recently got partnered, I think like a few months ago. She's an awesome content creator. She does a lot of Battlegrounds. You might have seen her in a Battlegrounds tournament. She used to do arena a lot, plays ladder. She variety content as well. Really awesome girl, and I've been friends with her for like pretty much since I started streaming. Superior David, although he plays priest a little too much for my liking, recently got partnered. He also has a YouTube channel which is nearing 1,000 subs, so I'll link both of those below. Awesome guy, like genuinely one of the best guys I've got to know on Twitch. We make fun of each other all the time, we harass each other, but it's out of love, and he's an awesome dude. Amazing content, amazing dude. Check him out, and you can ask him to speak like his Jewish mother, and it's freaking hilarious. Pun HS, a competitive Hearthstone player. You might hate this guy because he kind of popularized the very popular weapon rogue these days. Got partnered on Twitch as well. So if you're looking for some like high legend gameplay on Twitch, he's typically top 100 legend. Check out Pun, who got partnered in like 2 months. Like sped run it, ridiculous. And on YouTube, we had Swagwar TV and Clark Hellscream. Both get 1,000 subs very recently. Both create wild content quite often. Both are kind of memesters, although Clark kind of does standard as well and does some discussion stuff. They both have amazing content. They're both on YouTube. They both got partnered, which means they got 1,000 subs and enough viewers, so check it out. And I just wanted to share the love. I know it's a machine, you guys might not care, but a lot of these guys are friends, or girls are friends of mine, and I just want to give them the recognition that they absolutely deserve. Next, we have the standard wild meta update. Standard rogue is ridiculous, and Rage Warrior is pretty good, but I want to highlight Ray C's Libram Paladin here. It's got the fishy, it's got Crabrider. Crabrider's super cool in the deck. You buff him up, he can be pretty ridiculous. Blessing of Wisdom now is in there, because Wind Fury with Blessing of Wisdom is really good, and I've been having a lot of fun with Libram Paladin. It's a degenerate deck. It's pretty unfun to get Pinflinger to death, but there's just not a lot of interactivity in Hearthstone these days, and at least it fights for board, so I've been enjoying that aspect of it. And then Wild, it's the same old Reno Priest rank 1 legend stuff, you know, Pain Warlock. But I wanted to highlight here Mechathun Warlock. Is it back? We have the new Vol'jin card, and it allows you to cheat out your Mechathun and Cataclysm. It's kind of a new way of doing the combo, and I know how much people love to play Mechathun Warlock, so maybe give this new variant a go. And the new legendary is free, so you can just throw that in there with relatively a similar build of it. So check those decks out. And next we have the mailbag segment, where I answer your questions. And make sure, if you want me to answer one of your questions, put it in the comments below with mailbag in the comments so I can easily identify it. First question comes from Jack Goodwin Hayward. What hero portraits would you like to see in Hearthstone? Could be anything, even outside WoW. As you guys know, I'm horrible with World of Warcraft lore. It would make absolutely no sense to me. So I'd go with other like prominent video game characters. So I'll highlight two, a female and a male. First, female, I would go with Terra from Final Fantasy VI. She's a badass. She's got magical powers. Maybe she could have an epic battle with Jaina. She could be a mage. She's like Esper quality. She could transform too. I think she would fit in really well in the Hearthstone world. And then for a male, I gotta go with Link from Nintendo's Legend of Zelda series. I think Link could be like, I don't know, maybe kind of got an archer thing. Maybe he could smork it up as a hunter or something like that, or be a demon hunter. I don't know. But Link would look pretty cool. And again, I would go with non-video. Like, I don't know World of Warcraft. And it wouldn't make any sense, but I would like it personally. Music and Food Guy asked, do you have a dream job other than streaming, or streaming your dream job already? And growing up, I always wanted to be an NHL hockey player for the Vancouver Canucks back there, even though they're terrible and always lose and disappoint me. And well, hey, it's like Hearthstone kind of. But anyways, you know, I loved hockey, and then I wanted, growing up, I loved like acting. I did like drama and stuff, so I thought maybe being an actor or working like video games in some way, and streaming's kind of my way of doing that. I get to be, you know, provide entertainment, I get to play games for a living, and it's like a mix of that. So I'd say, yeah, streaming to an extent is a dream job, and I just love doing it, and for those reasons. Zach P asked, do you currently play any other card games, virtual or IRL, and if not, do you think you might in the future? So currently not really, because I have absolutely no time there, but quite time consuming to get invested in a card game. I played Magic Arena about a couple of years ago. I was first sponsored by them to play it, and then I just got hooked because it's an awesome game. I got like Mythic playing a budget mono red deck that Bloody, former F2K teammate of mine, hooked me up with, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I just didn't have time. I was super focused on Hearthstone. I've also played a little bit of Legends of Runeterra and this Warhammer game as well. They were all pretty fun. If I could go back and play them in the future, Magic Arena and Runeterra are the ones that really stand out that I would like to get back to at some time. I just currently so focused on all this stuff going on, I just don't have the time, and hopefully down the road I get an opportunity again to. Nathan Newton asks, any plans for collab with Mark I never know how to say the second part. I don't know. Your channel is great, don't get me wrong, but his meme decks are the bee's knees. I love Mark. I love his content. If you're not subbed him on YouTube, what are you doing? He makes the best meme combo decks out there. I talked to him about doing an interview like we did with Solemn and Regis, and soon to be somebody else at the end of the month, by the way. We will have another interview at the end of the month. Won't announce who yet, but I asked Mark about it, and yeah, he's very open to it, and maybe in the next month or two, we might do an interview series with him again as well, or I don't know, maybe meme it up, who knows. But yeah, Mark's down. Mark's an awesome guy. He's always in my stream. I love his stuff, and yeah, we'll have something with Mark at some point. Like YouTubers asked, if you could remove one card from Wild, which should you choose? There are so many. I can't limit it to one, but I would get rid of Divine Favor. Absolutely hate that card. It just drives me insane. Even though it's not even meta right now, I don't care. I hate it. I can't stand it. I would get rid of Ice Block, because it's just any Ice Block card. Like you could say even like Timeout or any of those kind of cards. I just don't think they're fun. They're just toxic. And then Lackeys. They're not even wild yet, but I hate Lackeys so much that I would just get rid, well, maybe just the Ethereal and Draconic Lackeys. The other Lackeys I can live with, but I get rid of those two Lackeys. And I know they're technically standard cards right now, but I can't stand them. They drive me nuts. And Mackie D3 says, cat again. I don't know. Where's this cat you guys keep talking about? This big chonker of a cat. I don't know. Oh, Nova, here you are. They keep wanting to see you. Why? Why? No? You don't want to be seen? You look very sad. You look sad. I know. I'll show off Nova again. She's just a silly girl. She just kind of goes, you know, crazy sometimes, but she says hi. She's trying to get away from me. I'm not letting it happen. But there you go. That's this week in Hearthstone, week number 27. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try and make her not pissed off at me. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends. Right? Yeah.